Hello everyone, this is Rahul Pawar and welcome to my YouTube channel Xpressurdata. So we were, learning a lot in our coding sessions, and this is part 2 video where we will explore what all we have learned till now and will continue. So if you are new to my channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and let us get started without wasting much time. So if you haven't seen my last video, please do watch that video. So in that video, we have learned how to build the logic from the base, and we have seen how the data is getting categorized in Tableau and how the execution is happening step by step. So I'm going to take it a further level up, and we are going to write few more calculations, and we'll see how Tableau is trying to compute that. Okay, so for that, again, what I'm doing is I'm taking my subcategory and I'm also taking my profit for now, because we have got all the values in that, and I'm just sorting it. Now let us open one of the previously built logic, because I want to take some part from that. And okay, okay, never mind, we'll write it. So I'm writing logical functions. So it's day 2 for us. Okay, now what I'm doing is, like we have categorized earlier, using the same, I'm trying to categorize it for some time, for some values only. So if my sum of profit, okay, is greater than, like say, assume I'm giving 40,000. Okay, then I want to categorize as good profit. Okay, and without specifying end part or else part, I'm just ending my statement here. Okay, so now, like we know, it will generate or create null values for us, right? See here, till here it is like this. Now if at all you want to handle this null, so we call that as exceptional handling, exceptional handling. How do you handle the null values that are coming in your data? One of the very important, you know uh, task in real time, because most often, after writing your entire logic, only for some part of data we get these kind of things. Okay, so we need to think about that also. Okay, so now we have categorized this as good profit, but we never expected that we will have profits less than or in this range. Now later on, after moving your report into production, you got some values which are not falling under your condition. Then in that case, what can we do? So now I want to handle this. So I'm writing simply if null. Now observe here, I'm passing this conditional statement to this if statement. So if my value is returning null, then specify as not defined. And I'm simply closing it. Now what will happen? First, this inner statement will get executed. It will print whatever the value is there. Okay, so in cases where it is null, then it will print as not defined. Click on apply. See, now clearly, if this kind of value is we are getting in the calculation, then we'll know that okay, this is coming from this part and we need to fix this. Okay, so that is your if statement. So many times we use this if null in real time as well. Now this is because string, I am deriving a string or defining a string value here. Now suppose, instead of this string value, I want to return 0 in cases of that. So that is also one possible case where you might get nulls in number. Okay, so that we'll see. And other statement with respect to if null, we also have another statement which we can use, is null. So is null will return either this statement is returning a null value or not. That's it. Okay, so for this we don't need another condition. So just what I'm doing is just removing this. and removing or just keeping it as is null. Now is null of our original if statement. That's it. Now what will happen? This will become Boolean statement. Just it will return either true or false. So observe now. If I see here false, which means for these three, it is not, it is giving us some value. So it is not null. False means it is not null. Okay. Otherwise, it is true, which means for all other values from papers, it is returning null value. That is what it is trying to tell us from this statement. Okay, so that is your if null and is null statement, one of the very important activity of handling this. Now what we'll do is we'll write a simple case statement. Okay, so if you remember in our previous video, we have derived some values related to month. Same thing I'm trying to do here, and let us keep this as is, and I will see if date related is there or not. Okay, so we have date name here. I'll just remove this and this, and I'll add it here. So I have assume in your database you are getting your months as this 1, 2, 3, 4 till 12. Now you got a requirement that you have to display month name and not the number. Okay, while there are multiple ways of doing that, I'm just doing it using a case statement just so that we can understand how the statement will work. So now I'm just calling case of this date name. So when I call that, Tableau will try to read all the values that are there in this. Okay, now when 1, then I want to print as like say Jan, and I'm ending. Okay, so this is valid now. Okay, so likewise I am writing it for all the months here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll simply copy this and paste it. Okay, let us so I'm gonna write the numbers here. 2, so 3, 4, 5, 6. So one common use case that we might get in real time, so you should be aware of this logic as well. It's important for us to understand. So likewise, now I can write my month name now. I can use it wherever I want. So if first all I want to use in number format or string format, whatever I want, I can use it. So July. So often this question is also asked in interview. Many times I think in Zenoti they have asked. I think in Accenture also they have asked. I think in Amazon also they asked this kind of question in preliminary round. So again, the question is just to check your logical ability. Okay, so not in terms of Tableau, but logically you should be in a state that you can derive this. Okay, I'm clicking on apply and I can take this statement and I can drop it. Now you see it is returning me this value. Okay, so now you got null here. See here, which means some error is there at your 12th number. Now you will go back and observe what you have done. So you will see that you have written 11, 12 times. So this kind of issues are also possible when you are writing. You need to first verify if it is correct or not. Now you got all the values. If any value you are missing at the then that will display null. Okay, so if anything other than this value that you are coming, then you can write simply again if null on this. Sorry, just to standardize the code, if null of this entire statement and what you want to tell, not categorized. I'm writing it like this and closing it. Sorry, like this. Okay, so this way also I can write it. Click on apply. Okay. Now again another use case we will see. So same thing, you can try it using if statement. You can try to build this using nested if and see if you are able to achieve this. Again, it becomes interesting when you try to write the same requirement in multiple ways. That is when we will be able to understand the logical part of it, and we will be able to tune ourselves so that we can write logic in multiple ways. So again, question for you, whoever is watching, try to write the same thing in using if, or I will say nested if, so that you understand better. Try it that way. If you are not getting, let me know. I'll post it. If you are getting it, do paste it in the comment section so that it helps others who are watching. Now, likewise, one common requirement we get in real time is categorizing the values into some different zones. So assume here I've got like 17 subcategory items. Now user want it to categorize into some groups. Okay, so one method is creating a groups, but I don't want to follow group approach just because from learning perspective, I want to use some calculations so that I can derive the value. So for that, what I'm writing is just creating grouping subcategory here. Now here I want to group my category into 4 parts or 2 to 3 parts, let us say, as an example. So again, many times I think I have asked in interview, but many failed to write this. So today I'm trying to show you that we are categorizing subcategory into 4 parts. Okay, so how can we do? Now I'm writing. We can do it using multiple methods. I'm using case statement because we are learning about case. So case of subcategory, and I'm calling when it is accessories. So one important thing that we need to understand about case statement is whenever you are calling this subcategory, Tableau will try to read all the values that are there in that subcategory item, and it follows, and it is case sensitive. Okay, so I'm just trying to pass whatever is there in this when accessories. Then I want to call it as like say group one, and when it is appliances. So I'm just taking alternate values here. Art. Then I'm calling it as group two when binders. Then it is group two when it is chairs. Then I'm calling it as group one. So randomly I'm passing it. Okay. So you can try any other method that you feel. Again, the purpose is to show you how we can write. Okay. And when so anything, okay. So when it is one more we need, when it is papers, when it is paper, then it is group three. When it is phone, then it is group three. Any other than this, any other value that is coming apart from this, then it is group 4 for me. And it simple. Okay. Now if I click on apply and if I take it onto column shelf, see how my groups are getting categorized. So if I don't want this, I can simply remove this. And if I take subcategory into label, now it is clearly showing how many items or how many subcategory items we have in groups. So if I aggregate this, see, so maybe count distinct we have. Group 1 has 2 subcategory items, group 2 has 2, group 3 has 1, and group 4 has got 12 subcategory items. This way also we can use this to create headers. So many times we create headers on top of something. So this kind of requirement also you can get it in real time. Okay, now what I'm doing is just to show you one more use case here. Let us play with some a number here, and I'm trying to. Okay, so let us take subcategory here, and I'm taking profit here. Okay, so we got profit. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm writing a simple calculation here, and I'm trying to write profit by sales I'm doing. Okay, so not profit. So sum of profit by sum of sale. So I'm just trying to divide it so that I can see the value, and I'm writing here as equal 4 here. And I'm just writing it or dragging it here. I'll make it discrete. Now it is giving us some value, right? Again, the whole point here is just to show you one use case here. Now, instead of this, I'm trying to write 0 here. Division by 0. So now we are getting null value. So now observe here, even though our calculation is valid here, okay, it is giving us 0. Now I want to handle this. Okay, one of the very important requirement in real time. How can we handle this? If um, okay, so I want to just call it as okay, so replace sum of sales with 0. Okay, let us see what is the okay. So first let us comment this. Still we are getting replace is called with the float. Did you mean string? Okay, so see, now we are getting string error here. So if I try to convert it into string, okay, I'm trying to just hard code my sum of sales to 0, directly 0, so that I can fix it. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm simply trying to 0 all my sum of sales. So see here how I'm doing. If my sum of sales is not equal to 0, then I want to print 0. Okay, else also 0 and it. Okay, I'm just trying to test this, and you see I'm getting 0 here. Now I'm just trying to divide this with our sum of profit. divided by this. Okay. Now what is happening? See here, everything we are getting null. Now I want to handle my denominator, that when we are getting this 0, or when our denominator is basically 0, I want to display 0. That's it. Okay. Otherwise, it should display profit. That is the requirement here. How can we do? If I'm taking this statement here. So whatever is there in the denominator, I'm taking that is equal to 0. Then print as 0. Okay. Else it will be sum of profit for me. That's it. End it. Okay. So now something. Okay. So we will comment our these two parts and we'll try to test it. Yeah. So now what will happen? It will test my denominator part. So don't get confused. This is my denominator part. If this is somehow 0, then directly print the calculation as 0, because anything divided by 0 is actually not calculatable. So directly I am treating that as 0. Otherwise, print my sum of profit. That is how I am trying to do here. Click on apply. Now see here, we are doing it like this. Okay. So we can play with our logics like the way we want. We just need to understand how we can build that. So now if I try to write this here, and I'm just showing you another use case here. So this is valid now. If I click on this, I'm getting null value. Now I want to handle this. Whenever we are getting null, I want to replace it with 0. Simply you can use another function called as zn function, and you can simply cover this up. Now what will happen in all the cases wherever you are getting null, Tableau will directly automatically replace it with 0. Click on apply. Now you are getting 0. One of the very important function which is used to standardize your code. So one example, if I take on this and if I try to compute quick table calculation, like say percent of total I'm trying to do. Now when I double click this, it will edit, and if I copy and paste it here, uh, see the code it is trying to do. Okay, now what I'm trying to do is maybe I want to percentage difference I'm trying to do. And control this thing. Now see here, the way calculation is being generated by Tableau, it is also using zn function to standardize the code. See here, apps function it is trying to use. Now what it is doing, denominator cannot be divided by negative number. So what it is doing, it is using absolute function to standardize the code. In denominator, we don't need negative value. So that's why whatever is coming in the denominator, we are just removing the negative number from that or negative symbol from that and making it absolute value. That way we can standardize our code. So this is one very good example for us to understand how Tableau will write the code. So the same format is expected from you in real time as well. Okay, so that's it from my side in this video. I hope this video has helped you. If it does, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Have a good day and bye-bye.